How powerful are where are we? How powerful are banned pre-modern cards? That's the question we're gonna answer to ourselves today. Do you even know what pre-modern is? It is a format that a lot of disgruntled modern players like to move to. Basically, it's a format between 1995 and 2003. Old bordered cards, once they move to the new frame, that's modern. Old frame, that's pre-modern. Because it's 1995, none of the stupid cards. No Lotus, no Moxen, no Chaos Orb. But still some weird cards. All right, let's go take a look at them. We're going to start off with the Amulet of Quaz. 6 mana. Remove Amulet of Quaz from your deck before playing if you're not playing for anti. Okay, so we already know that this card is disqualified. No anti cards allowed. Wow, they still had anti going all the way into Ice Age. Are you kidding me? You gotta pay 0. Well, what did it even do? Pay 0, tap, sacrifice Amulet of Quaz, flip a coin. Target opponent calls heads or tails while coin is in the air. If the flip ends up in your favor, that opponent loses the game. Otherwise, you lose the game. Well, we'll talk about gambling here. Effects that prevent or redirect damage cannot be used to prevent this loss of life. I didn't even know we're losing any life. Use this ability only during your upkeep. The opponent may ante an additional card to counter the effect. Oh, that's interesting. So basically, this is a huge slot machine card. Flip a coin and try to win. Flip a coin and maybe lose. Anyway, yeah, this card. No! Cannot be played. Definitely not. No, it's a huge no-no. All right, next up, we've got Balance. Why? Why? We can't play Balance anywhere here. We can't play it in Legacy. We can't play it in Commander. We can play like one copy in Vintage. How do we break it in? I guess it's just a supreme board wipe. 1 white, 1 generic sorcery. Each player chooses a number of lands he or she controls equal to the number of lands controlled by the player who controls the fewest. Then sacks the rest. Then you gotta discard cards and sack creatures in the same way. Do we all do the Moxen? Interestingly, pre-modern does not count cards before 1995. So that excludes anything from Unlimited. So no, we have not done those, but we're not going to. Why is this banned? You know what? I mean, if it's banned everywhere else, let me take a look. Look, it's literally banned everywhere. You can play one copy in Vintage if you want. I don't even know how good or bad it is in that format, because there's no place for Balance here. It is, I guess it's like, is it like a free roll on turn 2 if you're on the draw? You make your opponent sack a land, then you put a land in play, but you'll have more cards than them. It's hard to tell. Oh, we have Rob Boy. Thank you so much, Rob Boy, for the super chat. I've been on vacation for a while. Hope you didn't miss me too much. I didn't miss, well, sorry, I missed you. How has your week been? It's been great. It's good to start the day. Good to start the week great with Coffee and MTG. Our friendly local zombie, Rot Boy. I like the flavor of the avatar and the username. This one's gonna be rough. Okay. Anyway, Balance. I guess given its reputation, yeah, it also should be banned. It's very powerful. So let's just say it's very powerful. Brainstorm. Brainstorm is banned let's get a pre-modern looking Brainstorm. Come on, give me all the prints. There we go. There we go. And in my opinion, this is the best Brainstorm. This is not a debate. I've won this one. This is the Brainstorm above all other Brainstorms here. Brainstorm blue instant. Draw 3 cards and put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. Now, this card is only broken with fetch lands. Only. If you don't have fetch lands, this card sucks. Basically, draw 3 cards, put 2 cards back on top, and you always Brainstorm lock yourself. Well, maybe not lock. You might be able to do something with the cards, but there's so much worse. Are fetch lands legal in a thing in Pioneer? Absolutely. And I actually think they're broken. I actually think the fetch... I mean, I don't play this format, so you can take my opinion and throw it in the trash. I think the fetch lands should be banned in pre-modern. Because they're so... The archetypes are so balanced to the allied colors. The enemy fetch lands are not legal. They were not printed till Zendikar, which was just years later. But in Onslaught... They did print the allied fetch lands, the Flooded Strand, the Polluted Delta, your Bloodstained Mires, Windswept Heath. I'm missing one. Wooded Foothills. So, like, those cards, what's it called? Like, anyway, those cards now, like, in my opinion, when I look at the pre-modern archetypes, they're pretty biased towards allied colors. If you try to play enemy colors, you gotta play with, like, Pain lands and all this other crap. Which, not very good. We got Slam. Balance is too powerful. Played in Dual Commander. Well, finally, somewhere we can play that damn thing. So anyway, Brainstorm, yeah, it's probably broken. Is it ban-worthy? Like, it's Legacy power level? I mean, arguably it should be banned in Legacy. So I guess pre-modern, if you look at the format, it's like somewhere in between what the old Extended was and also what old Standard decks look like. Like, I see a whole bunch of like super old Standard looking archetypes in their deck list zone. So Markzilla says, yeah, oh, you want Mind Twist. So were you saying yes to banning keeping the Brainstorm too powerful? Okay, Brainstorm is too powerful. It's a fine ban on the ban list. We're going alphabetical order, by the way. So I'm not, unless you super chat, I'm not skipping the alphabetical order. It's easier for me to keep track. Oh god, Bronze Tablet. Probably also an anti-card. Alright, we got 6 mana for an artifact. Comes into play tapped. Pay 4, tap, remove Bronze Tablet and target a card opponent owns from the game. You become owner of opponent's card. An opponent becomes owner of Bronze Tablets. Well, that's weird. Opponent may prevent this exchange by paying 10 life. Oh my goodness. If he or she does so, destroy Bronze Tablet. For the low price of 10 life, don't touch my cards. Don't get out of here. Anyway, okay, so effects that prevent or redirect damage cannot be used to counter this loss of life. Play this ability as an interrupt. Remove Bronze Tablet from your deck before playing, if not playing for anti. Yeah, it danger! It gambling! No gambling here at Wizards of the Coast. Wish they made this more weird as hack artifacts like this. This is as weird as it gets. Where you want more... I mean, they could bring stuff like this back. But instead of, like, you know, owning your card, it just controls your card for the rest of the game. You know, you gain control of target card until it's over. You can't actually pay life if you're below 10. That's correct. You know, if you don't have 10 left to pay, then you can't. Then they just take your... I guess you just have to concede the game while the ability's on the stack. Don't take my Black Lotus. It's like... I guess you could sack the Black Lotus... So they have to only, like, take permanents that you can't, like, sacrifice. Anyway, I'm trying to think, like, how would people play anti-cards today? Or counter anti-cards today? Play a complete sacrifice deck. Or play, I don't know, what's it called? Maybe one of the maybe Lantern Control would be the best anti-control deck. Because you could, like, see your opponent's top of their deck and then, I don't know, make it part of the ante. Well, removing your cards from the top of your deck, preventing them from taking it with ante. Anyway, yeah, Bronze Tablet, it's pretty powerful, I guess. Actually, it's not powerful. It's not powerful, but we know why it should be banned. And it banned. We'll get to all of them. We're gonna get to is Earthcraft even banned? Oh, it is. We'll get to it. Okay, next we got Channel. This is a pretty reasonable ban list so far. Alright, they actually ban cards that are pretty broken. Wait, we got a green sorcery. Until end of turn, you may add colorless mana to your mana pool at a cost of 1 life per 1 mana. Play these abilities as interrupts. Effects that prevent or redirect damage cannot be used to counter this loss of life. Thank God they got rid of that. It should have been just self-explanatory. So anyway, Channel, I don't even know if you would ramp with this thing. I guess a Channel Fireball, you could still do that. You could channel Earthquake. You could channel something. Funny that channel is a keyword now. Oh yeah, that's right. Channel, the keyword, the card. The keyword. The movie. Anyway, yeah, we can keep it banned. Bring back Ante to add another win con. Oh god. It's the last thing Wizards needs to hear from the community. We want Ante back. We want Ante back. And they're like, they're looking at the law and they're like, we're stretching these randomized boxes as they are. Anyway. Wow, you read so fast like in commercials about medications. That's what I'm going for. It's the fine print that they just need to plow through to get through the card while still like talking about, you know, the technicalities of it. And I'm getting pretty good at it, you know, as a streamer. I've read this damn sentence so many times. Toad's like, bring back Mana Burn. Bring back Mana Burn and unban Mana Drain. I'm all for it, Toads. Let's do it. You get Mana Burn, I get Mana Burn. You get Mana Burn, I get Mana Drain. It's a fair trade. All right, what do we got now? Yeah, we all in agreement. To hell with this card. Don't bring it back. Keep it in the gallows. Demonic Consultation. Okay. Okay. This is pretty busted. Pretty black. Instant. Name a card. Remove the top 6 cards of your library from the game. Then reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal the named card. Put that card in your hand. Remove the other cards revealed this way from the game. It was effectively a 1 mana instant speed tutor in Legacy. I imagine it would just be the exact same damn thing in pre-modern. So, everyone's mentioning Thoracle. There is no Thoracle in this format. This is pre-modern. Pre-modern is a format with the old frame. Here, we got the old frame here. No new framed cards. The card gives me Thoracle PSD. Yeah, we see all the commander players here. The commander players have entered the house. So, it's just a tutor for any combo deck. Would make more combo decks more consistent. I don't even know what combo decks that was. They're like Stifle Knot. I think there's Survival. Are there survival decks? What else? Weird it's banned here when there's no Thoracle. Thanks, EDH. EDH is weird. Like, you guys... Like, this is a stone-cold bannable card. And the only place you can play this thing now is, like, Commander. And you guys are crazy. Tutors are out. I mean, even when you can only play one of in your deck, it's still like an extra copy of another card that you already have. And it makes the game, like, it makes your deck so much more powerful and so much more consistent. Of course, this one has the upside of naming Bubkiss and then, like, emptying your library for Thassa's Oracle. But anyway, for Constructed, you can have 4 copies of this thing. 4 copies. Super busted. Anyway, yeah. Definitely too powerful for the format, whatever that format is. Okay, next one is Earthcraft. No way. I don't understand this card. It's banned in Legacy too. Did anyone name some people have been named Earthcraft? Where are you weirdos? Anyway, okay, Earthcraft is a green 1 generic enchantment. Tap an untapped creature you control. Untap target basic land. So effectively, you could play... I guess you play a Mana Dork, tap your Mana Dork, play a creature. Sorry, like, okay, you tap your, tap a forest, play a 1-drop, tap that 1-drop to untap your basic land to play 1-drops. Like, I mean, you can play a lot. I don't even know how you go infinite with this. Infinite Mana Enabler? How? Tap an untap creature you control. Untap target basic land. It needs, like, one more... You need, like, Squirrel Nest or something. Like, if you enchant a land with something that would make a token, then you would have infinite creatures. Earthcraft is for elves. Untap all your creatures and play more stuff. That's how elves always been, in my opinion. That's how it's always been. What do you think elves is? They vomit their hand onto the battlefield and hope to swing at you with their dinky 1/1s. There's no Crater Hoof in this format, so they don't even have a payoff, as far as I'm concerned. They don't have a good payoff. Combo with land auras? Maybe. I mean, this is their best bet. Like, Squirrel's Nest, turn... Like, this is a 5-turn combo? Because you first need... if you go land, Earthcraft, land, Squirrel Nest, and the Squirrel Nest is tapped, then on turn 4, you can make an infinite number of creatures, but then you only kill them by turn 5, which you would die to a Sly deck. You would die to red Sly. Have you played Pre-Modern? What's your opinion on it? Does it seem viable as a competitive format? I think it is very viable as a competitive format. I have not played it, but I have observed the metagame. I think it's a little warped for my liking, and I don't like that they banned Force of Will. We'll get to that. I hate that they banned Force of Will. So that is a huge no-no on my part. I think they should have banned the fetch lands as well. If enemy colors can't have fetch lands, nobody should have fetch lands. And then unban Brainstorm or something. Alright, Platonic Liquid. You can tap the Mana Dorks with Summoning Sickness for 2 mana. Even that alone sounds alright. Well, that's the thing. It's alright. But it's not broken. I don't think it's broken. Wild Growth makes the mana ramp crazy. I think... I want to see it. I don't believe it till I see it. I don't even see it in Legacy and it's banned there. I think it's a very unjustly banned card in Legacy. And it's not like you can have like, what, turn 2 Stifle Knot, maybe even turn 1 Stifle Knot. No, maybe, okay, at the very worst, you have turn 2 Stifle Knot. Like, that's a pretty big, stupid creature. I don't have any of these cards, so I'll stick with my EDH. Is damage on the stack? No. As far as I know. They play by regular rules. Okay, Argot, Elder Maze of Ith, Earthcraft on a land with Squirrel's Nest, attack with the Elder, untap with Maze, the lands repeat. That's... If you pull that off, congratulations! You deserve a medal. You deserve to win if you get all those cards in line and no one, like, interacts with it at all. Anyway, okay, I think you can unban this card. I'm not... Full disclaimer, I don't play Pre-Modern. Never played a single game. I've watched some streams. It's a pretty slow interactive format. But I don't understand why this card's banned. Outside of maybe it's on the reserve list and... They banned all the regular lands, which actually blew my mind. I guess they're trying to make it, like, cost-effective. But they banned, like, you know, Tundra and... Oh, sorry, no, they didn't ban Tundra. Those are just not part of the format. So 1995 and later. 1995 and later. Okay, Earthcraft can be broken when you have just a forest with, like, a few 1-drops. I don't know. They can all die to all sorts of stuff. Okay, let's move on to Entomb. Holy screw over the, Oh, we need the original Entomb. There we go. Oh, I see. I guess they didn't want to mess around with Reanimator. No combo allowed! I guess they banned Force of Will, and because you banned Force of Will, you gotta ban the rest of the stuff. Force of Will is a free spell, but we have Foil as a free counter spell. That is absolute garbage. I'm not replacing my Foil with Force of Will. That's for sure. What does Pre-Modern mean? It is a format that spans between 1995 and 2003 using only the old border cards. You see, Modern uses the new border. Look at that. Nope, that's not a new border. There we go. You see the new border here? The new black border? There was once upon a time the old border. So Pre-Modern just is a format using all the old border cards. Are there even good animation targets in this format? Absolutely. There's all sorts of stupid old stuff that you could bring back from the dead. And they do have the Reanimator stuff. I don't know, like, they probably can use a lot of other cards to help facilitate reanimation. Maybe Entomb is just cheating too much. Again, Tutor, strong card. You know, I'm not going to argue that this is effectively, like, demonic consultation for the graveyard for the right archetype. Scourge and older, basically. Yup. That's how it is. The really good old days! Anyone play around this time? I did. I remember the old border, and I thought it was weird when they changed it to the new border. It was broken in old Legacy. What, Entomb? It's also broken in new Legacy. It hasn't changed at all. So, does it need to be banned? I should have looked at, like, the pre-modern... Do we have, like, a pre-modern... I'm not gonna look. The pre-modern metagame. I know a handful of archetypes. I was hoping Illusions Donate was gonna be one of them. It's not. That was an old extended favorite of mine that I never owned, but I thought it was so cool. As an artifact player, I think the Man of Steel should be banned. That's what? Don't you want it unbanned? Pre-modern is my era then. I played from Ice Age to Mirrodin. And you can play it on Magic the Gathering Online. You have to play it in like the free constructed area where you can play any format you want. Just make sure you're part of a club. Actually, I guess there's like a Discord of pre-modern players. If anyone's a big pre-modern person, you can let me know where your Discord is and I'll put it in the comment section. I know I love Illusions Donate as well. Okay, we got to move on with the show. Entomb. I think if you have Force Will in the format, you can... This arguably doesn't need to be banned, but it is strong. I'm not going to debate like how strong Entomb is. It's stupid. It's a stupid card. Flash. Can they do anything in this format? Is this broken? Blue 1 generic instant. Choose a creature card from your hand. Put that creature into play as though it were just played. Play the creature's casting cost reduced by up to 2 if you cannot bury the creature. What is Protein Hulk? Is that... That's not pre-modern, is it? Protein Heart. It's from Dissension. I mean, you can't play Protein Hulk. I don't even know what your combo would be. Goblin Recruiter? That's banned too. Yeah, well, the art was really hit or miss back then. Flash is still ridiculous even if you pay it for its full cost. Is it? I don't think so. These formats are really, really strong. I have no idea how the hell you would abuse this card. They must have their own reason for it. I should have probably read some sort of pre-modern ban list explanation article. I'm sure there's something out there. On Coffee and MTG, we talk out of our butt and we just make things up. Just figure it out on the fly. Let Protein... But we don't... There is no Protein Hulk in the format. It's only old border cards. It's not even close to looking even like it's potentially broken. Like, I don't know the creature card you combo with this. I'm confused. Are we discussing the ban list or what should be on the ban list? We are evaluating if a card is too powerful on the current ban list. We're evaluating the power level. And I don't even see it on Flash. The Dreadnought? The Dreadnought already has like a lot of ways of getting onto the battlefield. But let's investigate the Phyrexian Dreadnought. Okay, so this is a pretty common archetype card there. Trample, when it comes into play, sack any number of creatures with total power 12 or more or bury in Phyrexian Dreadnought. It doesn't look like it's useful with Flash. You would still have to pay for the ETB. The way they combo with Dreadnought in pre-modern is you use Stifle. Just like in Legacy. So this is banned, probably Old Robot. I don't know. Anything you can activate on the stack, no idea what would that be in pre-modern. Neither would I. There's no Grizzlebrand or anything. All right, if I don't have a good explanation, I think this is unfairly... I think it's unfairly banned? Doesn't make any sense to me. We got the weight of like so many Commander players in our chat, and we cannot figure it out. Flash with Academy Rector instant. Oh! That might be a card. Abzo. Yeah, this is a card. Okay, 4 mana, 1/2. When it's put in the graveyard from play, you may remove Academy Rector from the game. If you do, search your library for an enchantment card, put that card into play, then shelf your library. That might be the answer. You know what? That's enough for... is that enough for me? And what are we putting into play? Is Omniscience even pre-modern? No? It's a newish card. It's not old. It's 2013-ish, so we can't even go get that. Like, I don't know what the payoff thing. Yeah, what enchantment, though? Okay, I'm sticking by it. Someone in the comment section can correct us all. Nathan, thank you so much for the super chat. Have a Slurpee on me, good sir. Back to work for me. And back to work for me as well. I will definitely drink that Slurpee. Yawgmoth Bargain. I think that one's stone cold banned in this format. Stone cold banned. All right, next one. Which deters me from playing the format at all. They banned Force of Will. That's right. Why? What the hell is wrong with these people? Why would you do that? What, like blue controller, blue? It's a 2-for-1 for crying out loud. Like Force of Will, in some cases it can be abused. Okay, it can be abused sometimes, you know, like in Infect and in Show and Tell, and there's some proactive combo decks that'll protect their combo with Force of Will. But they got good answers to Force of Will. You got you got Pyroblast and Red Elemental Blast. Force deserves that ban. What? People are crazy. Unstoppable Rob. Force of Will is banned because there would be 8 free counterspells if it was legal. Who cares? That is a huge cost, the 2-for-1. All the enchantment targets are banned already, so yeah. Limit to 1, maybe? No, I want all 4 of them. Look, when you're up against a fair deck, Force of Will sort of sucks. Force of Will is only good versus unfair decks that are, like, going all in. But, I mean, I think even in a fair... I don't know how it's going to play in a very fair environment, and Pre-Modern is pretty fair. There's some unfair stuff going around. There's a lot of fair stuff going around. No card deserves a ban, just a restriction. I like how you think, Hitmonkey. I like how you think. Yeah, blue players be like, why is my Force of Will a goner? This card gets rid of a blue card. Unban it. I thought it was so wild when I was looking at the ban list and saw Force of Will was there. And me as a blue mage, I'm like, okay, well, that is insane. Yeah, hey, full disclaimer, super biased. Outrageously biased here. Love my Force of Will. I'd put it in my stacks if it was legal, I think. Oh, you play stacks in pre-modern? That's wild. What else do we have to say here? Is channel a good candidate? Oh, it's stone cold broken, but we looked at it already. Okay, Hitmonkey. Blue players read in their spare time. Green players eat crayons. Well, the eating crayons green players get to do just as much as the blue players these days, if not more. Oh yeah, just for science, the original Force of Will was from Alliances, so it's a super old card. Maybe Flash with Fling Tongue. That sounds like a pretty bad interaction with Flash. Okay, I think this is not too powerful for pre-modern. I don't think it's too powerful of a card. Hell, I think they could have printed this thing in modern, for crying out loud. Okay, next up we have... Actually, hold on, we have a super chat that might skip. Okay, Lord Trevor! Tangents of Agony pre-modern. Is it still danger? Is it, is this a banned card? Hold on. Let me confirm here. It is! It is a banned card. Well, it's Storm, and Storm sucks, and it seems like, you know, looking at the pre-modern ban list, they're laying the law against the combo decks. You may not Storm, you may not reanimate, you can't do this, you can't do that, and as a result, there's less reliance on cards like Force of Will. They're like, Force of Will is such a feel-bad card, screw that card. It's going to the dumpster. So that seems to be... It's interesting to see the different philosophies between different formats, the way they want to approach it. So pre-modern's like, this is such an unfun archetype, let's not deal with it at all. And because we're not going to deal with them at all, then we don't even need Force of Will as the glue to the format, because, well, we want the standard decks to be good again. Classic standard. Oh, Storm? Yeah, Storm is old. The biggest mistake ever in Magic. Yeah, Storm, it danger. What's going on here? Oh, I got the wrong theme here. It's the wrong theme to move to our sponsor, but it's going to be the theme that we're going to use today. So we're gonna look at evaluating more pre-modern banned cards. We're gonna look at our gotta thank our sponsor today, FusionGamingOnline.com, my one-stop shop for all my Magic the Gathering needs. Deal of the week this week, save 15% off old Commander singles. Don't forget some of these. Oh, isn't Scroll Rack banned now in pre-modern? We'll get to that in a second. But also you can get a lot of Commander cards are also pre-modern cards. So maybe you can get 2 decks in one shot. You can support the channel using my you can support the channel using my Fusion Gaming Online coupon code Nikachu to get 5% off all your purchases. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, though. The premier place to rent Magic cards online, and if you want to get into the pre-modern format, they play regularly in the, like, tournament constructed area, like the free-form play area. I see them all the time. People love the format. So you can rent any deck, any cards you want for pre-modern and play the format if that interests you. The type of people I think people like pre-modern are people who are burnt out of modern as it is and still want to play a non-rotating format that's never going to get more cards introduced to it. That's it. This is like an expanded 93-94. And also, you get to play the old standard classics. A lot of really old archetypes are back in pre-modern. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_B3R. I think it's a cool format. I just don't want to play it, that's all. That's my only problem. Alright, moving on. Where do you find the band list? Just look up pre-modern band list on Google. Boom! The power of Google! Okay, so what do we have to say about Tendrils of Agony? I actually don't know. How would they break this card? I guess just a bunch of rituals and then kill you. Yeah, they have tons of rituals back then. Valerio says, speaking of Storm, Mind's Desire, banned in Legacy 6 days after release. By the way, the scale for the mechanic's power is called the Storm Scale. They call it the Storm Scale for the reason. And this is the reason. I'm only interested in pre-modern if Basking Root Wall of Madness is a deck. It might be. You don't have money for Vintage? You want to play competitive with old cards? Play Dual Commander. Oh. I thought you were like pumping this up for like play pre-modern. You're trying to guide people to Dual Commander. I love these streams. I know absolutely zero about Magic as a whole, but you love it. Oh yeah, well, thank you very much. By the way, you can play Magic for free on MTG Arena on mobile or desktop for both Mac and PC. Just look up MTG Arena and dive in for free. Literally for free. The cards will suck in the beginning, but hey, you're getting what you paid for. You haven't experienced true power until you Mind's Desire into Mind's Desire. Yeah, I heard. Okay, anyway, this card is definitely ban-worthy. Not gonna make the argument to get this thing off the ban list. Okay, next card up. Goblin Recruiter. Wow, hating on the Goblin players. The red one generic 1/1. When Goblin Recruiter comes into play, search your library for any number of Goblin cards. You choose. Reveal those cards and shuffle your library and put them on top in any order you choose. Basically, you are never going to flood out. You're just going to flood out on Goblins. So if someone Armageddons you, you're screwed. You're screwed. You're dead. But, like, what are you going to do? Flavor Text is next. Probably next person to get flung by a slingshot into the moon or something. Or the sun. This card is so OP. It is... But here's the deal. Like what... How do you break Goblins? I guess they still have enough good Goblins to enable, like, some gross, busted board state. There are cards... This card is so good with Muxus. That's true, but there's no Muxus in this format. So the problem with evaluating some of these cards is, what's the payoff? There's a lot of old, broken cards that have a great payoff with a new card. But in the old days, they've got, like what are your Goblins? Raging Goblin? There's no Goblin Guide. What else is there? I guess Goblin Matron, but then that would ruin your chain. Goblin Ringleader, maybe? Could you stack with Ringleader? Yeah, this is old. Okay, so you can get Ringleader. That would work. Kiki Jiki and Mog Fanatic. This sounds very underwhelming. I don't even think Kiki Jiki is even playable. Kiki Jiki! Too new! That's the new frame, right? Yeah, that's the new frame. No, is it the new frame? I can't even tell. The red one looks so similar. No, sorry, it's not similar at all. What am I on glue? Okay, Goblin Recruiter. Siege Gang, maybe? Mog Fanatic? Seems underwhelming. Goblin King! The king of the goblins! The Goblin King. Maybe because of Goblin Bombardment? Maybe. What is the latest set in pre-modern? I think Scourge? So, is it 2005-ish? What's the thing say? 2003 is the last set. Anyway, I have no idea. I have no idea how you break this card. We know it's good, and we also know that they don't like tutors, so I guess it's busted. But, like, I don't know what is the catalyst that breaks this type of card. Platonic Liquid, thank you so much for the super chat. How expensive is coffee in Canada nowadays? If it's like here, have a cup on me. Thank you so much. It is, depends how much money I want to spend on a cup of coffee. If I want to go super cheap, I could go to Tim Hortons or McDonald's and get like a reasonable cup for like $2. If I want to go to Starbucks, it's gonna be $5. Could be $8. Starbucks is like the sky's the limit, depending how much I want to pay for a gourmet coffee. Lord Trevor, how bad was Combo Winter? Tolarian Academy. Tolarian Academy, I'm pretty sure is banned. Hold on, Tolarian Academy, and I will confirm that it is banned. Okay, let's look at the original. I love the look of this card. This card's beautiful. The card is perfect in every way except that it's broken. Or maybe it's even more perfect because of that. It's a legendary land. It's a great art. Has the most broken, absurd ability of tapping to add a blue to your mana pool for each artifact you control. The Academy worked with time until time ran out. Beautiful flavor text. This is a 10 out of 10 winner for me. The only problem is I have nowhere to play this damn card. I have nothing. Not a zip. I knew a Merfolk player that played Merfolk in Vintage and wanted to play Tolarian Academy in it just because. I don't blame them, even though there's no point in doing it. Yeah, is it the most infamous land? Maybe. I don't know if it's the most infamous land. It's a pretty famous land. They already don't have Time Walk and Ancestral Recall. Oh yeah, remember the format starts at 95, so they excluded Unlimited. So there's a bunch of like broken cards that are like, okay, we're not even gonna deal with this. And also that gets rid of the dual lands. No dual lands. Yeah, the most Urza card ever. Yeah, next to the Tabby. Except Tabernacle apparently not too broken to ban. Unfortunately for me. Yeah, I'm not gonna deny. This thing is broken as hell. In pre-modern, this would be super busted. If only the Saga block could break this card, all of pre-modern would just make this thing completely outrageously busted. Oh, pre-modern is a format. I'm not making this up. Like, what do you think I've been talking about for 30 minutes already? Yeah, this is a real format. It's not like it's like a fan-made format. It's like Tiny Leaders. It's not officially sanctioned by Wizards of the Coast or anything like that yet. But if it gets enough attention, then maybe it's gonna be something. Again, do you hate new cards entering your favorite format? Do you wish it would just stay the same over and over again for multiple years all the way into the future? Then maybe pre-modern is for you, because all they do is play all the cards between 95 and 2003, and then it doesn't change. And they're still learning new things with the format. Sam Black played it once and got a card banned. That's how undeveloped the format is at the moment. Pre-modern is called extended. It might as well be. Wasn't this card even more in danger because of how the legend rule worked back then? Yes. Yeah, you had one legend in play. You got your Tolarian Academy in play turn 1. Your opponent was just screwed. They don't get their Tolarian Academy in play. Want new use for your old bulk? It would make the greatest infomercial of all time. Pre-modern, the GOAT Edison format of MTG. I have no idea what that means. Yeah, RIP Extended. I loved Extended when I was younger. And then they rotated it. And then it sucked. They just washed away all my favorite cards. That's why I play Modern. I like to play with the old cards. All right, well, what do we got? This card's broken. Definitely too powerful. All right, Rugal. Thanks so much for the super chat. Free for the chat, returning the favor from last Friday with the Giora Worldfire at Nasty. You're welcome. Greetings from Chile. Okay, so does anyone, okay, want to go, okay, Restgen Serpenton wants to go straight to Yawgmoth's Bargain. Yeah, this card, it danger. Going to the pre-modern format, like, hey, they got a lot of reasonably busted cards on their banned list. This one, you know, just like a lot of people say, it's like some people say it's worse than Necropotence. I don't know if I completely buy that. I think Necropotence is outrageously broken, and this card is very close in power level, but I think the cost matters. Like, you need an extra ritual to get this in play. And maybe you will jam your deck with that many rituals. So 6 mana enchantment, skip your draw step, pay 1 life, draw a card. Aren't most of the Yawgmoth related cards at danger? Yes. Yawgmoth and Urza are both broken. I never could get this card to work. Rituals. One word, rituals. Even red ones. Get them all. I'm a baby, apparently. I started in Innistrad. Yes, you are a baby. A lot of new players have entered Magic the Gathering in the last few years. Yawgmoth's Bargain is banned. It's banned everywhere. Where can you play it? You can play it freely in Vintage for some reason. Have all the copies you want. Apparently this is the least of their worries. Okay, sure. Hitmonkey, other than Legends, most legendary cards were kind of nasty overall. Yeah, the original Legends, they're like, it was a feeler mechanic. Let's see how this works out. And all the cards sort of sucked. And they're like, let's ramp it up. So we got some people who started in 7th edition. I started in right before Invasion. I started like after Nemesis. I think that's what it was. Nemesis into Invasion. I bought a lot of Masks block boosters trying to chase that Rishadan port, and I ended up with a lot of bulk. A lot of bulk. I didn't know how crappy that set was. And I could have bought like Urza's Saga at the time. I didn't buy any Urza's Saga because it wasn't standard legal. Man, I regret. I regret. I had no idea what the reserve list was though at the time. See, we have people who started in Tempest and Ice Age. We have people who started in Darksteel. Homelands. You can relive your favorite memories by playing pre-modern. When I first started in 2016, I bought it. Wow, you have not been playing for too long. I guess that's still like 7 years ago. I bought a Yawgmoth's Bargain thinking I was the smartest person ever. You can still play it, but in Vintage. It'll just cost you another $35,000 to play that format, that's all. Oh, you're an OG, Slavin. Starting Ice Age Onslaught. We got Zendikar. Great time to start. Starting Masks. That's an awful time to start. Or maybe it's a good time. I don't know. Depends on how your appetite for power level. This card! Get it out of here. Yeah, it's broken. There's no argument for this thing. You can draw your deck, pretty much. If you can gain enough life while you do it. Alright, next one on the list. Grim Monolith. Now, this card is strong, but what would you do with it? It's 2 mana. It's basically it's artifact ritual. That's all it is. Tap, add 3 colorless mana to your mana pool, play this ability as a mana source. Now, it doesn't deal damage to you, but like the way I look at this is like, they got rituals, right? They have like pay 2 mana, get like 3 mana. I'm pretty sure all the red rituals existed back then. Go infinite with combo pieces, but they have rituals. You know, they got I think. Like, when did Desperate Ritual, or maybe I'm wrong. Champions of Kamigawa? No, that's new. Maybe they don't have rituals. Voltaic Key. That's a card. Yeah, that's a card back then. Okay, you got it. Yeah. Probably too broken with Voltaic Key. That was the classic reason why this stuff was like broken. Use this to untap Basalt Monolith. Is Basalt Monolith banned? No, it's not. Basalt Monolith is super legal in this format. I guess not as broken though. You pay 3 mana, get 3 mana. Pay 3 mana, get 3 mana. Weird card. Dark Ritual is legal. So how many rituals are there in pre-modern? I don't recall seeing many ritual combo decks when looking at the metagame, but I don't know it that deeply. How sad I am. It would be a decent ritual plus sack to something. Has someone else power artifacts? Antiquities. Is this too early? I think this is. I don't know if this is qualifies. Hold on. Do they have? Oh yeah, it does. Do they have? No, I can't tell. I can't tell if Antiquities qualifies. Is because it's 1995 and later, and Antiquities might have been 1994. Can't read it on the copyright though. By the way, power artifact, blue. Activated cost of target artifact is reduced by 2. If this would reduce the target artifact's activation cost below 1. Target artifact's activation cost becomes 1. Power artifact has no effect on artifacts that have no activation cost or whose activation cost is 0. Yeah, Antiquities was pre-95. Because I'm not seeing, what's it called? The Mishra's Factory? No, Mishra's Workshop. I'm not seeing it on the ban list. And it would most certainly be there. So, anyway, question, is this too broken? I get, Voltaic Key. You know what? I think that's fair. Voltaic Key is the... It's just 1 mana. Activated ability, pay 1, tap, untap target artifact. So you get a lot. You get a lot of mana. And it's from originally Urza Saga. Man, what a time to be alive back then. I would have had a lot of fun. I would have loved to play this artifact deck. I looked at some World Championship matches with like John Finkel. Like the power level of those decks are insane. It's just crazy. Oh, I see. I guess Goblin Recruiter won't be on your list because it was printed first in Visions. No, it can be reprinted. It could have been reprinted. They didn't reprint Power Artifact because it was on the reserve list. So anyway, Goblin Recruiter is on this list. You were alive. I was alive, but I wasn't playing at the time. Anyway, okay. Grim Monolith, too powerful. And I do also have to say, like, a lot of the decks are pretty underwhelming in power level. Like, there's a lot of standard level power level decks in this format. So I guess they got to keep the really busted stuff out. Mind Twist. Oh my god, again, we really have to talk about this card. So where did they reprint it? I guess in here? Whatever the hell set this was. 3rd edition, revised. So black, X, sorcery. Opponent must discard X cards at random from hand. If opponent doesn't have enough cards in hand, entire hand is discarded. This is not powerful, people. This can be unbanned. I'm telling you. I don't know. These people are crazy. Chad, if you Google pre-modern, you can see the set and ban list. You can see the whole thing. Yeah, everyone's naming cards from like alpha and beta and unlimited, which are not legal. 94 and before, not legal in pre-modern. Gotta be pre-modern, but not pre ABU, I guess. This card seems bad, but really can accidentally cause too many non-games. But that does not make it powerful. It just makes it random. Mind Twist is the best discard card ever printed. And by the way, you have to, if you want a good Mind Twist, you're going to need like Dark Ritual into Dark Ritual into Mind Twist. And even then, you spent 3 cards to do that. Exactly. Jay Sober is like, I mean, it's kind of bad. I agree. And later in the game, it won't discard anything. And the comment section is going to fight me. They're like, Nikachu, you've never played against Mind Twist. That's true. But it does. I've played against a lot of discard, okay? Look, I may not have played against Mind Twist, but I've played against Thoughtseize into Inquisition of Kozilek, sometimes into what is that called? Hymn to Turok, okay? I've had 0 cards in my hand by turn 2. It's happened. It's the same thing. And I still won those games. You can't discard what's on the top of your deck. Falls into the Tybalt's trickery camp. You've wasted everything to win turn 1. You don't even win turn 1! You can't win turn 1 with this thing. You can just basically nuke your opponent's hand, and then you still have to win the game. Like, where's your win condition? Where's your Hypnotic Spectre or whatever? Like, this card, it literally doesn't take any life points off of your life. I would not get a single gray hair if someone mind twisted me. Is Cradle banned in pre-modern? I don't know, actually. Probably. Most discard strategies require cards in hand. That's true. Hymn to Turok is my killing card. The killing card. You really need 4 to 5 mana for it to be worth it. By that time, it's too late. Exactly. Jay Sober, you know what? You and me, we're buddies. We are the only morons in the world who think this card should not be banned. It should be legal. Anyway, I think this is not a powerful card. This is not a ban-worthy card. I don't even think it's even that feel-bad of a card. I think it is worse when people, I mean, the difference between like Thoughtseize and Inquisition is that they can't take lands, but Hymn to Turok can. But anyway, and that's a 2-for-1. That's a clean 2-for-1 there. Beanpot says, back in the day, Mind Twist was a turn 11 3 or 4. Oh, so turn 1 1 for 3 or 4. Discard all the lands at random. How the hell is that? That's impossible, Beanpot. You can't do that turn 1 unless you ritual. But if you ritual, then it's a 3 for 4 or a 3 for whatever. So like if you go ritual, you have 5 mana, pay 1, discard 4. So basically it was a 4 for 3. It's not a clean 3 for 1 or 4 for 1. It's impossible. And yeah, you have to also count the swamp. Let's count the swamp. So it's like a 4 for 4 there. Yeah, you got to use the Dark Ritual. They have Dark Ritual back then. I mean, unless opponent has Reliquary Tower. I don't think that matters in this case. Okay, I think unban it. Unban. I don't think it's broken. Nothing wrong with the Mind Twist. How did I get to Mind Twist? I skipped over a bunch of other cards. We must have been, oh, I got confused. Jeweled Bird. Oh, this is one of those stupid Andy cards. Pay 1, artifact. Remove Jewel Bird from the game. Sorry, from your deck before playing, if not playing for ante. Tap, draw a card. Put your contribution to the ante into your graveyard and replace it with Jeweled Bird. The old switcheroo. Oh, that card I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose my Black Lotus. Here, I'm gonna swap it with my Jeweled Bird. One of the first decks I used to run with was a discard deck, and it had no creatures. Oh God! So you just wanted to discard your opponent's hand, watch them sweat, and then let them eventually crawl out of their grave. Yeah, everyone's naming there are no Moxen in pre-modern because I guess it's a bit. They should rename the format instead of pre-modern. It should be after ABU, but pre-modern. So it should be called In Between. That should be the format. In Between. So there's no Soul Ring. Actually, is there no Soul Ring? Maybe there's Soul Ring because they might have revised in here. Okay, I don't see Soul Ring. So there's no Soul Ring. There's no Black Lotus. There's no Moxen. There's no dual lands. Yeah, there's no dual lands. So no anything past 3rd edition. Sorry, anything before 3rd edition and 3rd edition, definitely not possible. Anything from 94 and earlier, also not possible. So Antiquities doesn't exist either. It should be called Next Standard. I like that. The Next Standard. The Moxen wasn't reprinted. Oh yeah, after Unlimited, yeah. Wasn't reprinted after Unlimited. If not playing for Andy, no card for you. Anyway, okay, this is... Of course, it's not too powerful, it's just too illegal. That's illegal. Land tax. That's an issue. Apparently, this card recently got banned thanks to Sam Black. It's a white enchantment. It's a classic, really. During your upkeep, if an opponent controls more land than you may search your library and remove up to 3 basic land cards and put them into your hand. Reshuffle your library afterwards. That's pretty good. I mean, like, if you have, like, extra lands, you could, like, brainstorm them away. Like, you can draw 3 cards, put 2 lands back on top of your library, and then fetch them away. So you have that virtual card advantage. You have extra cards to discard. You're never going to miss a land drop with this damn thing on the battlefield. So his land tax, yeah, Mox Diamond and Scroll Rack, very good combo. So, like, Mox Diamond is a disadvantage. It's supposed to be a disadvantage because of, what's it called? You're discarding a land card from your hand, but with land tax, it was just free anyway. Sweet Borborigmo synergy. Yeah, balance is completely banned. So this is continuity in some ways. King Ginger, thanks for joining. Coming up, member of the coffee crew. I didn't know you weren't a member. It's all fun and games till you ante your black. That is true. Okay, Oliver Mars says land tax does seem broken, to be honest, especially in modern MTG with all the broken stuff. It's kind of ancestral recall repeatedly. That's why it's not even modern legal. So I think it was on the cusp of being broken, and I think Sam Black finally built an appropriate scroll rack deck to really break this card. So I think that's what the case. I hope I'm not completely talking out of my ass here, but it's pretty. I understand that he made a land tax deck that ended up just being incredibly broken. Yeah, I would have figured King Ginger was a member the entire time. Say land tax is greater than Ancestral Recall. I don't know about that one. I don't know. So anyway, this card's a little close. It's like a card that's not outright broken, but has very good synergy if you have it in the right build. So I can believe that it is ban worthy. Very close though. I bet it's possible that if the pre-modern format evolves enough to a point where maybe people find really, really good, more optimal decks, that land tax maybe could be unbanned. But it was like a close call the entire way. Is Sam Black going to be banned? Seems more and more bans are his fault. What can I say? I actually think Sam Black is like one of, if not the best player in the game. Sam just thinks about the game very differently than anybody else. I mean, it's probably helped contribute to so many cards getting banned. The guy's just like, what is the most broken thing that I can possibly do? What is the next card worthy of getting banned? And then makes it happen. Okay, well, next up, Mana Vault. What's the OG Mana Vault? When did they reprint this card? In something. It was in, they put it in 4th edition. The crazy people. Absolutely crazy. Sam Black, the strongest color in Magic. Yeah, not black. It's got to be Sam Black. So, Mana Vault, 1 mana. Doesn't untap during your untap phase. At the end of your upkeep, if Mana Vault is tapped, it deals 1 damage to you. Pay 4, untap Mana Vault at end of upkeep. Use this ability only during your upkeep. That is weird. So I activate the ability at my upkeep, and then I have to wait to the end of my upkeep. They still do that? At the beginning of your upkeep, you can pay 4 if you do untap Mana Vault. Okay, they just scrapped it. That old wording is not. That's not how it works anymore. That is so weird. I gotta untap my Mana Vault at the end of my upkeep, but I have to activate the ability at the beginning. Okay, tap. At 3 colorless mana, your mana pool plays the ability as a mana source. It's colorless Dark Ritual. Colorless Dark Ritual. As says, this is a CEDH staple. It is a staple everywhere. The only format they don't care is Commander, because it's already restricted. Banned in Oathbreaker. Banned in Legacy. Restricted in Vintage. The Vintage is basically competitive EDH. It's like EDH. It's like CEDH, but you can play 4 copies of some cards. Some cards. Dare I explain it? Turn 1 Soul Ring and Mana Crypt into Mana Vault. Yeah. Well, you can't do that in pre-modern. Oh, Brian F. Oh, thank you so much for the suit. I didn't even notice. Jeweled Bird was my first cantrip. Was the first cantrip? Is that true? I guess so. Maybe that's true. And Lord Trevor with the super chat. The horror that is Memory Jar. Okay, we'll end the show on Memory Jar. Which was actually next anyway. Which means we need to make a part 2 of this. I actually didn't understand Memory Jar for the longest time until I realized this probably is broken in an artifact deck. So you pay 5, it's a 5-mana artifact. Tap, sack it. Each player sets aside their hand, and then you draw 7 cards. And at end of turn, you have to discard your hand and return the set aside hand back to your hand. So essentially, I was like, this is like a weird card. How do you really break this thing? But if you have a lot of cheap cards in your deck, if you're like an artifact based deck, you probably can break this card because you like activate it, you crack it, you draw a bunch of artifacts, you spew the artifacts onto the battlefield. Maybe there's even other cards that make it work. 7 cards in danger. That's true. And the thing is, your opponent, if they're tapped out, they're like, well, I don't know if they'll, yeah, if they're tapped out, they're screwed. They're like basically not going to play any of the cards that they have. It was banned before it was released. Oh, you mean in standard? Probably. Has anyone used Magus of the Jar? Oh, where was that? Has anyone used Magus of the Jar effectively? Not yet. That Magus of the Jar, just waiting to get broken. There's a big difference though. Like the Maguses can all get killed by spot removal. Memory Jar can't. It's not the same way. Station Disaster. I run Coat of Arms in a Goblin deck. It's OP, not banned though. Powered out with Goblin tokens, Skirt Prospector, and Brightstone Ritual. I think that's fine. Coat of Arms. I think it's okay. Coat of Arms, everyone gets +1/+1 for each other of that creature type in play. You play pre-modern, do you? Or is that just a commander deck? They're printing more adventures! Oh, that's great. Congratulations, Jack. Memory Jar was legal for about a week. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Is that how it was? I know it was banned quickly. It doesn't matter how quickly. You know, you're too late. Don't worry. There's always a replay. Yeah. Memory Jar, it's probably broken. There's no way. It's probably... yeah. But no, how do you... Okay, so they have Mox Diamond legal? That is so weird that they would have Mox Diamond legal in this format. Maybe that's why... Maybe that should have been on the ban list, not Memory Jar. They have some weirdly legal cards. They have some strange cards that are legal in pre-modern. This card enables storm decks. Yeah, well, the storm... Yeah, but their, like, key storm card is banned. I guess they still have, Brain Freeze, if they want. Mill people's decks into the graveyard. Are we going to extend? Absolutely not. We're going to save part 2 for next time. But for now, we're going to have to say goodbye to this day. As usual, my coffee crew, you want to be part of the show, be here Monday to Friday, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks for all the support by being a Patreon, a member on YouTube, or you super chat to be part of the show. And thanks for all your comments. And most importantly, we got to thank everyone who's here every morning for the show. Like we got King Ginger, Erlin, Steve Cooper, Avatar, Markzilla, Jess, Rotboy, Slavin, Toads. What would a morning be without Toys? Toilet Duck. Just Sober, Oliver Marth, Station Disaster, William. We got Brian F with the super chat. One for the road. Memory Jar +2 Megrim ×2. I don't know what that means, but to everyone who knows that, they probably understand. Platonic Liquid, Tommy Siddons, Christopher B, Jacob, Itara, Damn, PM, Termus. Because as usual, my coffee crew. Without you guys, I'd have no show. So as usual, keep bringing up them coffees, and we'll keep bringing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.